What's up, Dallas? It's your girl Rachel here, and I have another great episode with a fabulous guest, Miss Kendra. How are you today, ma'am?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am. My pleasure to have you on my show. I know we're going to have such a great conversation today. But for all those people that are tapping in right now, can you tell me your social media and what you do?
Yes, my social media, my Facebook is Kendra King, and my Instagram is Author King. I'm sorry, Author Kendra underscore King, and my TikTok is Passion to Life. And what I do is I am a writer. I'm a screenwriter. I've been writing since 2003. I've written 51 books, and I've done four movies this year. I produced four movies. I wrote them and I produced them. I'm just super excited. My movies are based off of my books. So I'm super excited about that. I'm also a theater arts teacher, sixth to eighth grade.
Wow, I didn't know that. So that is like a something I'm getting to know you. This whole
Yeah.
conversation, I'm just going to get to know you and the queen that you are.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. So I love reading and you love to write. So let's get into these questions. Uh, yes, yes, ma'am. So my first question, and I know people are probably asking this, but what inspired you to become a writer in the first place?
Ooh, what inspired me was actually during my fourth grade year. I started to read R.L. Stein, Goosebumps, and then kind of moved up the next year to Stephen King, and then my freshman year, I started reading like different type of books like Omar Tyree and the Chicken Noodle Soup series and different books like that that kind of had me kind of like, hey, I want to write too. And when I read this Terry McMillan book, oh my God, it blew me away. And that was during my freshman year when I was in high school, and I actually worked in the library. I just was a really book nerd. I'm telling you, I would get like probably at least 20 books a week, and I would read them. Like I just love reading, and I love the different stories. It took me out of my element. I was that girl sitting on the stairs in apartments in the hood reading my books. That's who I was.
Mhm. And I love that. Always encouraging people to read because, reading is knowledge. And if you don't read, you're not going to have the knowledge you need.
That's right.
That's right. And I want to know your writing process because your movies that you have that I know have come out because I know a lot of people that are in them. What is your writing process? Like how do you go through that? Tell me.
So as writing my scripts, I sit down and I kind of think of what book I'm going to take it from this time. Sometimes it just all depends on my mood. But I would take it back to my first movie this year that's about to come out, Knee Deep. Knee Deep was my baby. It was based off the book She's in Love with His Coco, which was about a young me. There's two variations of Kendra. There's the she wanted a thug and she wanted a good guy. So there's two different variations. So I went into knee deep and I kind of gave you the outlook of my life and things of that sort. And I'm just like, I want to touch on that first. And the only reason why I touched on that first was because going into the industry, you got to bring them something to kind of bite back. Like, okay, I can give them this real romantic story about me and the things I went through, and I can also give them the first part of me. So that's what I did. I gave them that first part of me to kind of get them to kind of, the distribution company to take that because you got to come with something powerful for them to kind of say, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and go with your movie. So I went with that, and then when I came back, I said, hey, I want to do something that's, I'm different. I like all type of different things. I love romantic. I love thrillers. I just like different things. My brain never stops. Like it's weird when I'm literally in the middle of the night, I can wake up and I'm hitting my husband. And I'm like, oh, idea. And he looking at me like, girl, it is 3 in the morning. I get my tail up and go upstairs to my office and I go write. And it's just that's my process. Like whenever it pops up, it's just you gotta write about it. And mostly everything that I write about, it's true, or I've been through it, or somebody around me's been through it.
Mhm. I've heard that. I've heard that whenever there are people who are writing books, this usually about either anywhere between 50 to 70% based on
Yep.
their life.
Yep.
and or an experience that they have went through. So you
Ab-
just validated that for me.
90%, I would say 95% of Thicker the Berry, Sweeter the Juice was definitely factual. 95% of that movie.
That's amazing. And I have quite a few people who are giving you props for that premiere for Thicker the Berry, Sweeter the Juice. And I was just like, oh, I want to watch it. I'm gonna wait till it comes out, but I'm gonna watch it for sure. So
I
yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
I can't wait to watch it.
Oh man, I'm so excited. I want to watch all your movies just because I want to support you. You're such a local talent, and a lot of people they need to know who the real Kendra King is. Like, who is Kendra King? Like, tell everybody if you could explain who you are, please do.
So, who Kendra King is? Kendra King is a humble, genuine person. Um, she she loves to fish. She loves to write. She just loves people. Sometimes she can be too trusting, too humble, and too sweet, and that's what gets her taken advantage of.
Mhm.
Um, Kendra King, um, she's a people pleaser. She loves people. She loves helping. She's also a rape survivor and domestic violence survivor, and she goes hard for what she wants. She used to do a lot of quitting. She quit
Mhm.
everything day until she finally got the courage to stand up for herself and to put everything into fruition and to not give. She did
Mhm.
so of giving up on herself and her self-worth that it took God to reassure Kendra King of who she was. That's who Kendra King is. She's a mother, she's a wife, she's a daughter. Um, and she loves people. She really
Mhm.
does.
I love that. That's deep. That's so deep. And I love you, Miss Kendra, for just getting on there and being so transparent with that question. That was,
You.
I was just like, oh my gosh, she's checking all the boxes of people I love. Oh my gosh. Yes,
Thank you.
ma'am. I
Thank
love that. You have a story like everyone else, and the testimony and people. I believe that people need to hear the story of other people, especially like when it comes to survival or being a rape survivor, domestic violence, things like that. And I think people need to speak about that a lot more, for sure. So, do any of your books touch on that subject on how you survived those items too?
Absolutely. Thicker the berry, the sweeter the juice. That book definitely does. She's in Love with His Coco, which is the movie Knee Deep. It definitely tells about that as well, the different triumphs and trials and tribulations that I went through. And also Curves Under the Mistletoe. That gives you a little nuance about, self-love. That was actually about me and my best friend from middle school all the way up to college. She's in New York now. She came down for my recent movie premiere, but she knew this movie was about her and she agreed to it. But she was in foster care growing up, and she's also a rape survivor as well. And she actually, when you watch Curves on the Mistletoe, it's actually on Tubi right now as well and Amazon Prime. It's a true story, so check it out so you can know what I'm talking about.
Oh, that.
We went through that together.
Oh, I love that. I'm definitely gonna check it out. I'll be like, okay, I want to be right there. Yes, we're gonna get it. Don't worry. So I kind of want to know like how do you balance the creativity and the structure? Because every book has a structure or a flow, and what is your process for that?
So when I'm writing books, my process is when I first started, I used to be so, detailed, like, okay, I'm gonna, write down my plot, I'm gonna write down my setting, I'm gonna write down, this and that. And after a while, I just started letting it flow.
Mm-hmm.
So keen into just like making this character this and sitting down. But now I just let it flow. I just write. Just let it all connect because sometimes everything when you write it down and you're like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna write this book just like this. I'm gonna have my characters like this. Uh-uh. Because when your characters start doing this in your head and everything is going like that,
Mhm.
you change. The characters change. They may develop more. They may grow more. There may be growth for the next, novel for part two. Just things start to spiral, and your mind kind of does this nuisance thing. So it's just like, okay, God, where am I going with this? Because they say that the mind of a writer is really schizophrenic, and I do believe that because our mind just like it's so many people they're trying to get
Mhm.
out time. And for the life of me, I'm trying to see which one I'm gonna get out today. So so I do believe that it's just a thing where you can just sit down and just really write and let it flow. But if you're not at that level yet, I would say the best way is to sit down and write down your plot, write down your main idea, how you want this character to be, really study how you want your character to be and what that character needs to embody for that storyline. I would suggest to write it all down first if you're not keen to just letting it flow.
Okay, that's some great advice, especially for our young writers out there. So I love everything that you're telling me right now because I have a book that I'm still working on. So I have
Oh,
to develop another character.
yeah.
And it's a book called Reese's Walk. It's actually, yeah, about 100% my real life of how I met my husband now. And
Wow.
I was just talking with another writer the other day, Marcine Moore. She read my book and she said, okay, so I need to know who this character Elijah is because your son meets Elijah, but we don't know who Elijah is. Like, we don't know him. We don't know what he looks like. Like, you got to go back and write him in there. And I was like, you're right. I really do.
Well,
So,
you
but
can go in. You can go and add them in.
I will definitely add him in. That whole story of how me and my husband met it's a whole nother conversation. I thank my son. I know he's probably watching this out there. I thank my son when he was 13 for introducing us at the gym and embarrassing the crap out of me. It
Oh,
was
wow.
that's in a nutshell. That's how we met.
Can't wait to read this.
Oh man, I'll send it to you so you can preview it and just so you see my whole story.
Get first dibs.
Yes, yes, it's so exciting. And I do got so many other questions to ask you, but oh my gosh. So, what challenges do you face typically during your whole writing process? And this includes movies and books.
um, what I face during writing is sometimes the characters mashing. I I've written so many books that sometimes I have to go back before I write the movie to really grasp, okay, this character, what happened from that scene. Sometimes I have to go back and just really reread the book because I've written so many books, and that's it's kind of tedious too when you have to go back, and I have to go back and highlight my whole book because I'm like, oh shoot, I forgot that. Oh, that happened. Oh, and I would say one of the I'm getting better at it, but one of the things that really, really get me from making your book into script form is bringing a 300 to 400 page book down
Mm-hmm.
to 90 pages.
Mm-hmm.
That is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Think about your act one, two, and three, and then you have to put all of that into 85 to 90 pages. I've just started to get better at that. I'm not going to lie. I know that Curves was 2 hours and 26 minutes that movie was, and I'm learning, okay, it shouldn't have been that long. Maybe an hour and 40 minutes, but not 2 hours and 26 minutes, but at least it kept people engaged, but it was
Uh-huh.
still rather long movie, and I'm learning that from when people see the time infringement on Tubi or other sites, they kind of tend to kind of stroll along because they feel like it's too long. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
learning, you know, one page on a script equals up to a minute. So
Mm-hmm.
you that in mind when you're writing your script from a novel because it's a very big difference, and it can make or break you too. You can have this really dope script, but then it's like too long and people kind of they go they bypass it because they're like, oh, that's too long for me, like and people's attention span these days are not good. So
Trying
I'm
to
learning.
That's why we have them reels out there because people's attention span is like 3 seconds. That's
Absolutely,
the attention
absolutely.
span of a fish. Just be, just being honest. I'm just being honest.
Oh,
So yeah, and another thing that I noticed about movies, especially when you're producing them, is you have to make sure that I think it's like the first 5 minutes is gonna pull them in as far
God,
as watching it. You have
God,
to. Yeah, so I like to watch movies with my husband and stuff. So we'll sit there and we'll just watch movies. And if it doesn't capture me in the first 5 minutes, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go watch Downton Abbey. That's what I always tell my husband. I'd rather watch that. I
well,
just like capture me.
that is true. Like if it capture you, then you don't want to watch it. And you know, we have to think about that when we're doing in our movies and when we're producing or writing. You have to think about what's going to, capture them to want to watch this, even if it's a romance movie, even if it's comedy. You have to bring them in from the very first 5 minutes, if not 3 minutes.
Hmm. I second that for sure. So I was wondering, so I'm gonna ask you this. We're gonna go flashback to Kendra. Can you share a memorable or a challenging experience that you've had in your journey so far?
um would that be in books or movies?
Just in life. In
Oh, just
life. Hmm.
uh I could take it back to, I guess, high school, my junior year. Um, there was a teacher, there was a teacher at my high school. She was upset because I was reading a book after I was done with my work in history class, and I was just reading a book. And she came over and she grabbed the book and she said, "I'm gonna call your mom. You're sitting here in my class reading these ghetto books." And I just looked and she was like, "You're never going to be nothing. You're never going to amount to nothing. You know that, right? You are never going to be anything." And at first, I let it resonate with me. I was sad and man, and I was already going through things as far as we were the first class to take our tax test. So
Hmm.
this was really hard. I had a hard time with the math and the science. I had failed the math and science that first time, and then the second time I finally passed the science. Then I was still left with the math, and I was doing my tutoring session, and she was there again. She came back and said, "What did I tell you? You ain't gonna amount to nothing," you know. And I didn't let it get to me, and I'm thankful for that because I can go back and say that I did not get to graduate with my because of the tax test, right?
Hmm.
That stuck with me for a long time. I didn't get to walk with my class, but I graduated that summer. Thank the God. But yeah, that stayed with me for the longest. And I'm saying this to say this because um, a couple of years later, I was pregnant with my first son, and
Hmm.
this was 2010, and I started working at Lang Middle School in Pleasant Grove. I started off as a front desk clerk. I
Hmm.
was I had went to college, came back home. My dad was sick, so I came home to help my mom, my dad, and the principal there, he saw my love for kids. He saw the person I was, and he would stick me in the class because then, the subs they wasn't in Dallas like that. They were going through some type of strike, and he put me in a class with the kids. He saw my love for them. He saw my endurance. So when I came back from son, he then put me in the special education classes, and he was like, "Miss Rainey," he said, "You need to go back to school." I
Hmm.
said, like, "Yeah, you need to go back to school." So I was like, okay. And I went back online, and this man, he actually gave me the encouragement to go back to school. The grown me just had a baby, and I went back to school and I graduated. I'm now teaching, And after that, I started off subbing. After, I was taking my teacher certification, I ended up going back to the same school I graduated from. I ran into that teacher that told me I was not going to be nothing. It would never amount to anything. And
Mm-hmm.
off in a in a nice way. But yeah. So it was a good moment for me because even through all my trials and tribulations, the old me used to give up. But this new me is like, no, keep going, Kendra. Keep going. And I want that to resonate with anybody that's listening. Like, keep going no matter what. I went through a lot of crap in my life. And I'm proud to say that the girl that they said would never be nothing, you would just, be one of those hood girls that you would never be nothing. I've written 51 books, I've written 13 movies. I've ghostwritten for people where my movie is like number one on Tubi, and nobody will ever know some of them. And ghostwritten, done some amazing things. And I just want people to understand that no matter what nobody tells you, keep going, don't give up, and keep pressing.
Mm. Mm-mm-mm. I resonate with those words, girl. Keep going. Yes, that's amazing. And I'm gonna piggyback on your comment about being working with the kids and loving them so much. So there's a lot of things that I'm noticing in the school systems these days is that kids are not taking advantage of, they're not showing the love and appreciation for the school that they have.
That's
But
right.
there are so many kids out there with talents of their own.
That's
So
right.
could you address our audience and to the young audience that we have and tell them something to help them inspire their talents to keep going?
Well, first of all, never give up on yourself. That's number one. And just keep going. Whether you want to act or you want to play sports, I just want to encourage you to have a backup plan for everything that you do, right? Um, we all have these different goals in mind, these different things that we want to inspire to be. Have a backup plan. And then also have another backup plan. Just and always believe in yourself. Never listen to the doubt of other people. Never listen to the doubt or the fears of other people because sometimes people will try to press their fears upon you because they're scared of what you could do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so just keep going and keep pressing on. Never give up. And I've had a few students of my own between this year and last year that actually have been in my movies, whether they've been extras or they've done things on set. So, I encourage you. And Rainey King Productions, we're going to start uplifting the community more as well. So we want to have kids and teenagers come out and be extras in my movies and things of that sort too. So if you're looking into acting, you think you want to pursue it later, you're looking into photography, we're going to have a lot of great things coming up as well. So I'm looking forward to opening those doors up for you. If you're not in and anything that's in the industry, there's other things that can be done. Look into your resources, check your community, check your libraries, stay in tune. And also, if you're in high school right now, stay in tune with your counselors. Stay in tune with FASWeb. Stay in tune with trying to get scholarships or whatever, so you won't have to lean on loans. When you get into college, there are so many different scholarships and grants out. Pull them in, catch them right now. Start your sophomore year. Start.
Mm-hmm.
You can get you a full ride scholarship, and it don't have to be just sports. It could be writing, it could be academics. You guys have these tools. Use them.
Mm-hmm.
Use and don't be afraid. Get out there and get it and do it. You can do it. Trust in
Mm-hmm.
your believe in yourself and love yourself.
I love that. Thank you for that. Thank you for addressing our youth because I don't think they hear it enough.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, so it's just kind of crazy. I've been hearing it a lot. Kids are just not taking advantage or embracing their talents, and they all have a talent that they don't even know about. So,
Yeah.
so I also want to use this platform to give your foundation a platform to be heard. Women can too. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Tell me about that one.
Well, Women Can Too is an organization founded by me, myself, and Anisha Jones. Women Can Too is a beautiful outlet for women of all nationalities, races, from all over. So, what we do is we get into the community, we do drives, we have a toy drive coming up. We get out and we serve food, we talk to the youth, and we just try to make our community better. We get together and we serve. That's what we do. We serve, and we come from a lot of different women who have been through the same things. And we get out and we talk to our youth as well. It's very important. That's one of the one things we like to do is to get out and talk to our youth. And we're going to be getting ready to do a summons for our youth as well in Highland Hills very soon.
I'm so excited. I'm honored to meet you, Miss Kendra. I feel like, you're a sister, and I know that you're my sister in spirit because I can feel it. So, you know, um, I applaud you for everything that you're doing. You definitely need your flowers,
Thank
especially
you.
helping these kids for sure. So, I know we don't have a lot of time left in our interview, but I feel like we could talk for hours.
Ooh, I just love you. I do. Thank you for seeing me. Thank you for, just giving me a chance, So I really appreciate it. I do. I
Absolutely. You know, What's Up Dallas is about giving back to DFW and the people that are making it happen. So that's
that's
why I
right.
have the platform in the first place. And I
That's
was,
right.
you got nominated. So there you are. You're on my show now. I love that. I hope I can connect with you also in the future. So if you have any movie premieres, just let me know. You can
Hey.
email me and I'll share the flyers and I'll try to make myself present at every premiere so that
Oh, you. Thank
yep,
you. We
you
have
are
this.
you are happening in DFW. So
Thank you. Thank you. I'm trying to do it for the city. That's all.
Well, your city supports you, I know, because they've been hollering at me. So
Wow. That feels,
yes.
you don't know how good that feels really good.
Yes, ma'am. Well, it's like everybody's seeing that your hard work and they need to know that you need to be recognized. And I feel like that's why you were nominated because you are making an impact. You are doing something. You are creative. You are actually, believe it or not, you're a celebrity in DFW. And people know who Kendra King is. If I
Wow.
if I go and mention you somewhere, they're just like, Kendra King? Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Thicker the berry and sweeter juice. Okay. Yeah, I know her. They're like, I heard
Oh,
about your curves under the mistletoe already before the interview. So,
oh my goodness. Oh my
oh,
goodness. Oh my God. And I was the lead in Curves Under the Mistletoe. So yeah, that was different for me.
now I'm going to ask you just one more question. Like you being casted in your own movie, what was that like for you?
So initially, I did go for the role, but then I stood back and I'm just like, no, I'm gonna be an AD for this. I'm gonna just learn the background, and I guess it's whatever God says because the lady that was supposed to be playing Delight, which is my character, she actually backed out a week before,
Oh
and
no.
who else but me? Who else would know this story? Even if I didn't remember some of the lines, I would know what the light's supposed to be like because I was around the light. So
Yes.
it was freaky like how it happened. It was just like, oh wow. Because I was gonna be in the background. But things happen for a reason. And yeah, that's how I guess that's how it's supposed to go.
Do you have a new appreciation for actors after you did the movie?
Oh Lord have mercy, yes. Yes, I do. Yes, absolutely. And I did before, but it's just like, wow, I definitely do. Even more.
hmm And what made you appreciate them more after the movie?
Man, having to dissect the character, have to actually grow within the scenes, the intimate scenes, that was a lot for me. Um, just getting into character, learning your the other leads, being in tune with them, just learning them and just trying to, bring both of our characters together and to make it personable for the audience. So, that's a big thing, making it real, making it look and feel authentic.
Very cohesive. You wanted to have a cohesive character.
Yes. And
Absolutely. I respect that too. I have a lot of respect for all the actors out there. I work with so many of them. Like DFW has so many actors and directors and producers and musicians and all that. And I'm just like, oh, we're gonna show love on so many different levels here. So let's just go and do our thing.
I can't wait. And I just can't wait for people to see the brand of acting that we have in Dallas. Like it's top tier. When you look at, and this is not the, speak ill on anybody else, any other city, but when you look at Dallas and you see the indie productions here, I mean, we're dynamite. You have Kagan, he's awesome. You have Benet Embry, who just did Older Man, Younger Woman. It's a phenomenal movie. Like you have Tierra Stacks with Heavy, and she did so great with Heavier. Like you have these wonderful people out here that are making noise with great actors. And
Hmm.
I wait for the world to see, because a lot of people is just, oh, I just want to be on camera. I'm just popular. But the what about the life in it, the passion in it, the drive in it?
Hmm.
The Dallas are steady working at their craft. I can give it to them. They're steady in classes, they steady working. That's what it takes. It's the whole ambience of it all.
Yeah, I agree with that for 100%. I think I was talking to Tyrone a while back, and he said that DFW is actually the top three market for acting talent right now. It can outlast like Atlanta. I think he said Atlanta, and then Chicago and all those other ones because there's so many people that are so talented here. So I second all that, everything you just said. Yes, ma'am. So. All right, so our time is almost up on our episode, but definitely, Miss Kendra, I would like to follow up with an interview with you, probably in 2024. I would like
Absolutely.
to highlight your next project whenever it comes out. So
Okay.
we'll link up before the premiere happens. But for
Okay.
our viewers out there, could you please tell them one more time your social media and where they can find you?
Yes, my Facebook is Kendra King, and my Instagram is Author Kendra _King, and my TikTok is Purpose to Pain to Life.
I love that. Y'all please go like and subscribe to Miss Kendra King. She is doing some amazing things out here in DFW. And also shout out to her foundation, Women Can Too, which is also having their event that's coming up on the 16th. So y'all please go show some support. And also follow What's Up Dallas Magazine. Google me, What's Up Dallas Magazine. I'm right there. Phone number, email, everything is all there. My address too. So everybody go please like, subscribe, support. I love you all. I love you, Miss Kendra.
Thank you,
All right.
Rachel.
Yes, ma'am. And y'all have a good day.
You too.